Do you recognize this doll? She was never released for market. Her name is Miss Madeleine. And according to her creator, she is alive.
Of course, I remember Madeline. Who could forget? Ross was obsessed with her.
She was interesting, but at first I didn't think she was all that special.
Ross Maxime was born on May 7th, 1973, in San Antonio, Texas.
My name is Linda Maxine. I am Ross Maxine's mother. My husband Philip and I were antique sellers for 28 years. We would refurbish, sell mainly furniture and some trinkets. What little Ross really loved were the dolls. My husband and I, we would buy these porcelain dolls, and Phil would refurbish them, and Ross loved to make costumes and line them up on the shelf. He said he wanted to be a toy maker. He wanted to make dolls. Philip and I tried to be supportive, but we knew it wasn't a sustainable career. We got into a number of fights about it right before he went to college. We weren't sure if he would find people who would understand. Of course, I regret that now. He remained fairly distant with us afterward.
Maxime attended college at Tulane University in New Orleans, graduating in 1995.
My name is Marshall Olish. I was Ross's partner for a time. I first met Ross while I was working at the Café de Monde downtown. He was quiet. He would sit at a table, sketch out these drawings of these beautiful, beautiful women. I was intrigued by that, and before I knew it, we were walking home together, and the rest is history. I don't think he had fully conceptualized her at the time we were moving in together, but he was close. He was working out designs with every new portrait. I had no reason to be worried. He's an artist. He's dedicated to his craft. To me, that seems normal.
I'm Stevie Oberlin. I was head of marketing at Fennec. We manufactured a lot of plastics that we sold to discount stores across the southern United States.
Fennec was founded in 1986.
We were big in the miniature water gun industry, but we sold all kinds of other products, utensils, goggles, and other toys. Headquarters was in Missouri, but I managed the Louisiana team.
I'm Warren Anderson. Ross and I started working at Finnick around the same time, 1998 onward. We were both in marketing. I was analytics while he did design, starting with packaging. Eventually, he moved into more of a copywriting position, our ideas guy. When the 2000s hit, the toy market started to shift dramatically. Bratz by MGA were released and began rivaling the toy titan Barbie. That was a monumental feat.
Fennec wanted into the race. The executives were ready to shift in a whole new direction. We were around the same size as MGA. We had the resources, so why not? All we needed was a strong idea.
You can see from these blueprints, she's a refined and elegant fashionista, as if she's an import from France.
She was a model, an exchange student of some kind. Very hip, very sensible.
It was a thorough, well-thought-out pitch.
Miss Madeleine.
She was for little kids who wanted to dream big, for the young ones who had exquisite taste.
Fancy Nancy, before she was fancy.
She smelled like lemons. Not too cutesy or risque. Think strawberry shortcake. Had a little bit of sex appeal to balance out.
The board loved it. They split him off from the rest of marketing to form a whole new wing of the company. He was given total creative control. I was really proud of him.
We moved up to Missouri, to the office headquarters where he had been given a little space. He spent long nights there.
I didn't hear from him very often during that period. He'd get so fixated on his projects, it was hard to reach him.
He documented his process extensively. It felt very personal at times, as if he was the only person supposed to see it.
He was really passionate about her, but at some point, spending so much time alone, it's gotta take a toll on your psyche.
time Maxime spent in self-imposed isolation was crucial in order to create Madeleine.
We still kept in touch over email. Soon enough, she was really starting to look like a real product. Offered to help make ads for him, but he declined. He said he had it handled.
At the end of 2001, Fenwick held a convention for investors. I think some of the local media came as well. The Madeleine prototype was unveiled for the first time there, and it did quite well.
The pictures from that day were some of the first I saw of her. Oh, she was beautiful. Ross sculpted her by hand, and he sewed all the clothes and wigs himself.
The doll was successful, but Ross didn't feel very accomplished by it. I asked him why, and he just said, she's more than just a product. I didn't really know what that meant, but it certainly got harder to talk to him. He started turning inward.
And now for some local news, plastics manufacturer Fenwick is aiming to further branch out into the toy industry. Reporters at their expo showcase last night were able to witness the ambitious debut of their soon-to-be flagship doll.
Fenwick wanted to start production, but Ross kept pushing back.
Dozens of new designs. He kept making and making, but he never changed the body style. It was always the same prototype model. Everything else about her was customizable. Pretty extraordinary stuff. But Ross was stalling.
Sometimes it would just be days in between seeing him again. He never came home, and when he did come home, he was so tired. I didn't want to deprive him of what he loved, but I also didn't know how to help him.
Fenwick gave Ross an ultimatum: complete the project by the end of 2002, or the Miss Madeleine project would be dropped entirely.
I had little contact with him at this point. I could only hope he was doing well.
Ross kept working at her through the end of the year, and she was ready. But when Fenwick asked for the go-ahead, he refused them. He didn't want to let go of her. It was like he forgot the original point of why he was making her. It was just her and him. Fenwick dropped them both.
Fenwick needed something easy. Cheap plastics was our specialty. Easy concept, easy to manufacture. Madeleine became too elaborate for what they were willing to risk funding.
He was out of a job, out of a studio. I still had a job, so he finally came home. Maybe we can finally live the life we wanted, I thought. But Ross had grown bitter, more withdrawn, more agitated.
He felt trapped, I think. All that creative energy and no outlet. He didn't want to sell because he didn't want to jeopardize his work, but he still intended on making her a toy. He was so hopelessly attached to her. Where the hell do you go from there?
Ross had changed, and I realized that I was living in a strange town, in a strange state, with a stranger. So I left.
The last bits of contact I had with him revolved around his drawings of her. He'd show them to me, as though he were running them by me, even when he wouldn't let me do that when we were working together. I went along with it because I could start to tell he was very lonely.
I think Ross was very sick, but he refused to see any doctors. I could tell that something was wrong because he started calling me again. I think those phone calls were times when I really knew him more than I ever had before. He didn't want us to come see him, but I feared he was nearing his final days, so we insisted.
He really thought she was alive. Madeleine, I mean. The way he spoke about her, drew her, wrote about her. A bystander might think she was his wife.
The person you are calling is not available. Please leave your message after the tone.
Hi, hon, it's your mom. We're gonna come up there tomorrow. I know you said not to see you, but you're my son, and it'll be good to catch up face to face. Okay? Love you.
Feverish and emaciated, Ross Maxime succumbed to his illness on March 27th, 2003. He was 29 years old.
I didn't hear about his passing for a few weeks. I didn't leave the city as soon as I wanted to. But, I mean, I still cared about him. I couldn't believe it. I didn't want it to be true. I don't want to say that a doll ruined our partnership, or that I was even remotely jealous of her, but I can't deny the anger that I felt. And I really think that she ruined his life.
It's a strange thing outliving your child, but we were devastated. I've outlived my husband now too. Phil died in 2011 from a heart attack. I don't know what we did to deserve this. He was so kind and so talented.
There's that saying, the brightest candle burns quickest. And in many ways, Ross's story is your typical creative defies the powers that be and gets payback archetype. But I think it was more than that. Fennec looked to him for guidance, and he delivered. But Ross valued his artistry. He didn't dare sacrifice his artistry for capital gain. That was something that made me start reevaluating my own priorities.
We tried taking back everything we could, but there was only so much we could take back. We put things in storage. After the hurricane, we thought everything was destroyed.
In 2005, Hurricane Katrina hit the Gulf Coast. Fennec's manufacturing plants in Louisiana were destroyed.
Finnick didn't recover from that. We had to shut down. I lost my house. Money was tight for a long time. But my family and I pulled through. In my free time, I started drawing. I was never the creative type, but my conversations with Ross, however cryptic, I think inspired me.
We were all laid off. I set my sights elsewhere. I think if it hadn't been for Ross, I wouldn't have had the guts to do that.
In 2025, the prototype of Miss Madeleine was rediscovered in a Baton Rouge warehouse, along with numerous blueprints, sketches, and paintings, all made by Ross Maxime.
It wasn't everything, but it was enough. After all this time, it was nice to be able to get some closure.
I was truly surprised when I heard that she was found. And I actually got a bit emotional when I saw her again. The way she was set up, it's almost like Ross had set it up himself, because she was surrounded by his artworks. It really captured his essence.